So this video will be about the composite chart, the multi-composite for the state of Indiana, Marshall County, Indiana, and the actual event chart of the Bourbon tornado that I had pulled. And I got the information from this Marshall County Post where it showed that the tornado began near Rutland at 7:52 p.m., which would be the birth time, lifted near Etna Green in Kosciuszko County, which I did not include. The impact, of course, hit Bourbon the hardest, April 2nd, where at least 50 homes or commercial buildings were damaged. It was a pretty big event. So, the tornado lasted for 17 minutes, which is kind of crazy. Yeah. 0 deaths, 0 injuries. So the composite chart is a relationship chart. Like I said, it's between the state of Indiana, Marshall County, Indiana, and the Bourbon tornado event chart that I had created with these different asteroids put in, planetary bodies. And as you can see, it's pretty messy looking. I ran out of colors. I ran out of symbols. A lot got hit and activated from the different eclipses, and I didn't even put all of the eclipses in that I had mentioned in the previous video. But you will see that, wow, a lot got hit. If you already have watched the first video I made showing just Marshall County, then you saw how the different events out here, the transiting planetary bodies, affected what's going on the inside and were affected by the different eclipses. So when you put the three charts together for the state, county, and the event, then you come up with this chart. And again, it's a Gemini rising like the Marshall County chart. So Mercury, that was just moved onto the world axis at 0 degrees Aries here, and conjunct to Neptune had just moved in. Also, Mercury was retrograde back into Pisces. That's right, I forgot we had the retrogrades going on. But Neptune had just moved into Aries. Now, Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars is a very powerful force. And Pluto rules Scorpio, which is, the transformation. It rules the 8th house, the transformation. And the Venus and Neptune for the composite chart here, you can see are all together. 753 and 756 had to kind of, so I have those surrounded with green, and then there's this color here, this darker blue, connecting to this eclipse March 29th at 8 degrees 53 minutes, because they're almost 8 degrees. And they also connect to this eclipse here from October 2nd, 2024, opposite it. The flood and Eris in the composite chart are also very close together, 8 degrees 2 minutes, 9 degrees 50 something. The Charybdis here connects. Phallus, the beginning of something when the cork is popped. Transit Charybdis, which is the sea monster, and powerful forces. And the era is fate. I didn't mention, I can throw in fates in here also and show it, destiny, quite a few other things, karma. Etna is very close here with Tornado. And of course it is, because it started. It hit the ground. You can see it's right opposite the Neptune and Venus. It hit the ground at Etna. And this is Torricelli. I have a hard time seeing them. I should type them out better. 942 connects to this eclipse and this eclipse also. And let's see. So boom, there's those right there. Now the ascendant at 21 degrees is very close to the Chiron, which is at a very magical number of 22 degrees 22 minutes, and that would connect to, of course, the descendant axis here, but it also connects to the composite storm at 22 degrees 50 minutes. And Chiron is related to woundings and healings, and a lot of people came together, which is the power of Pluto and Aquarius, humanitarian efforts. Pluto is destruction and change, but in Aquarius, Pluto is, it's the power of the people. We all have to pull together in all these tragedies that are going on, and Aquarius is the humanitarian efforts. So back to Chiron here, it's connecting here to Nessus at 20 degrees, and Nessus is generational changes at its highest. Even though it's a nasty little booger. So this eclipse here, also March 14th, Chiron's connecting to. I had mentioned that Mars was the eclipse activator, and we had the eclipse in Aries, March 29th. Some say the 30th, depending on who you follow. But Nessus here was on the Indiana, public 10th house, and this house is ruled by Saturn, which is the government and its structures and buildings. So it's making an exact square, almost exact square to the ascendant and descendant, and to storm. All right. There's Mars. Mars here at 23 degrees 56 minutes. It had already moved along from where it was when it hit the Donaldson one, but it was connecting more to Uranus, which is the chaos and unexpected. Taurus rules the Earth. And you can see here it's opposite Marshall, the county. So what we have, a trine here, a sextile here to Eris, discord, and strife. It'd be a square, because Eris is actually here. Like I said, the software messes it up. It's a sextile here to Uranus, and then a square to Eris. And Eris is still very close to Chiron. Chiron's getting closer to Eris. And then Saturn at 24 degrees 37 minutes is also involved in that. And then you also have Kaali, destruction, 23 degrees 45 minutes. Kaali is the goddess of destruction and awakening. And don't want to miss anything. It would connect to storm still. If it's at 23:45, it's still well within 2 degrees of storm. And the ascendant and descendant. Now, okay, I know why I put that. So the chart shows the local time at noon. And the tornado hit right around 8 p.m. Poseidon at 16 degrees 34 minutes, moving backwards this way. And it connects to the total lunar eclipse at 1524, September 7th, 2025, but it also connects to the midheaven and the IC. So the public and the emotional foundation, the homes, the lands. So Poseidon is making that connection at about 8 p.m. Almost exact to the 15 degrees 58 minutes. You also have Jupiter in conjunct, the karmic in conjunct to Poseidon. And let's see. Jupiter is on the Taurus-Eli in the eye of the storm, 1605, 1636. It's connecting to the north node forward path. In Taurus, the Earth, opposite south node here, past. Scorpio is transformation, destruction. All of that connecting to this total eclipse we still have ahead September 7th. Don't want to skip anything. Sturm, the German Sturm is at 1542. Poseidon making a square day at about 8 p.m. So you can see those connections there. We have me going ahead and missing completely that the Chiron of the composite chart is conjunct Phaethon, which is things spiraling out of control and a phenomenon. And it's also connect to Nessus, which, like I said, it was on transit Indiana, and Nessus is a nasty little booger, kind of like Eris, discord and strife. And at 21 degrees here, it connects to the ascendant and the descendant of the composite chart. If we go, I had to double color so many because there's so many connections. So Chiron and Phaethon are conjunct or connected to the Indiana with Nessus on it. Chiron was also connecting to the Saturn at 22 degrees 27 minutes, and Saturn does rule the buildings, and it sits in the 8th house, which is that house of destruction and transformation. Myra Fate going this direction, it's almost on it, but it's also making connection to transit Indiana at 2113 here, which is very close, had crossed over the Damocles, which is a crisis. And in the Sibley chart, of course, Apophis, chaos and destruction was Indiana was on Apophis. So Indiana is connecting to the ascendant and descendant, to the Chiron, Nessus, Phaethon, and Sturm here, the German storm, was retrograding backwards this way. So Indiana's been opposite Sturm for a while. Flood at 2412 now here had crossed over the ascendant. And of course, Marshall County is experiencing some flooding problems. And it's opposite storm. Okay. I had to circle. Oh, Bourbon. Myra Fate, 21 degrees, 41 minutes, exactly opposite Bourbon, 21 degrees, 41 minutes. Kind of an important thing to point out. So that's why I circled it, to make sure. Now, like I said, chaos had stationed direct at the March 14th eclipse, and chaos at 1 degree, 52 minutes. Connecting to Eris, Fate here. Connecting to Gaia, which is Mother Earth, retrograde at 126. And she's already retrograded past Black Moon Lilith here, who's headed this direction. And Gaia is more back this way now and activating more in various state and U.S. Sibley charts. Obviously world charts too. But so we have Gaia connecting to chaos and fate. Phaethon here, things spiraling out of control, a phenomenon, is directly opposite Gaia, Mother Earth. And of course, connecting here to chaos. And then the Uranus for the composite chart is also connected to that. Looks like it's 106, so it's connecting also to Neptune that had just moved into Aries. You can see that this is the galactic center. It's a black hole. It's our galactic center of our galaxy. And the fate is on right here at it, 26 degrees, 46 minutes. the nodes of fate are squaring it. And with the North Node future path, you also have Venus, which is our assets, things we value, people we value, our personal beliefs and values are conjunct with Storm, square to the galactic center. So forward path and the past, creating a T-square. Now the fate here at 2544 for the composite chart is also involved in that within the minutes. Apophis at 27 degrees 7 minutes is making a karmic inconjunct to the galactic center. Let's see. There's always so much to look at. I lose track. So this is Tornio here, like I said, very close to Etna, which is retrograde back this way. And it's connecting to the full moon eclipse March 25th at 5 degrees 13 minutes that we had last year, a year ago. And that hit chaos in the composite chart. There was flooding last year also in Indiana and in this county and the other counties that share the birth chart of Marshall County. So that's affected by that eclipse there. And you can see that the natal Gaia at 722 connects to this Tornio and Etna. And they're opposite that. So I don't want to keep going in circles, but I will anyway. The Sun in Sardinia and Rain are all here conjunct together here, and they're connecting to the composite Rain on the Mercury in the 8th house. Mercury communications, community, thinking, thoughts, close environments. And then change and the moon right here in the 1st house, which is the identity. Moon being the people, the land, and the homes. And change are being affected by transit change at 12 degrees 12 minutes. Again, another magical number if you know numerology, like the Chiron 2222. And Hades at 12:56, a gestation direct March 26. That connects to the Poseidon of the composite, and Poseidon is the god of the sea and the lands, earthquakes. And it's opposite the Pluto. So you've got that change in Hades connecting to the Poseidon and to the Pluto. Pluto being destruction, transformation, and change itself. And I'd already done all that color when I first started, so you can just match those all up. Okay, so we're getting tired. Remember, we had this total solar eclipse April 8th at 19 degrees 22 minutes. So anything that's around the 20 degree, 18 degree mark, the Destiny's Gateway vertex actually connected to that. Here. And the Bourbon specific asteroid at 18 degrees 56 minutes had just crossed over the Destiny's Gateway. So, let's see. Pause. That connects here to the part of fortune is what this circle with the cross in it is. And it's at 17 degrees 34 minutes. That connects also to the eclipse. Something I had here. Yeah, I'm fading out. It's like, oh, I see it. Etna at 18 degrees in the composite chart. Then we have anything else around that connects to that. Now, I did not mention that we've had a lot of full moons, A lot of things changing. Crossing over 29 degrees has been hit a lot, 29 and 22 the last few years, since 2020 actually. We had some major conjunctions. So the Hades for the composite chart is 29 degrees, 20 minutes, and that does connect to this solar eclipse partial that's ahead September 21st, 2025, 28:59. And that connects to the Mars. There's still, there's going to be more changes ahead. They're going to be rebuilding. They're going to be fixing things. The Insidinia is opposite the Mars, connecting to the Hades and to this partial eclipse. So, not a total destruction. And of course, Neptune was in a karmic inconjunct to Lilith and Gaia and Hades here. When I had mentioned the eclipse March 25th, 2024 that we had last year and the flooding and everything, that's actually connected to Manwe, the god of winds, and transit Bourbon here, and to transit Rutland for April 2nd, as well as Damocles crisis. And then, of course, it's still within a couple of degrees to the Neptune and Venus that are opposite tornado. Connects to the composite Gaia and to Jupiter that enlarges everything. And of course, tornado had crossed over Jupiter. So they got the Donaldson tornado, they got the Valparaiso, which, that should have been a tornado. But this is the Bourbon chart, so it crossed over it and connecting to that. Right here, transit Bourbon, and Manwe, god of winds. Okay. Opposite Marshall at 3:45. Now Marshall is connecting almost exactly to Pluto at 3:34, and Poseidon was right here near it also in transit. I did not put it in there for some reason. But you can see that Pluto is making a square to Marshall. And at almost 4 degrees, that connects to anything that's 2 to 6 degrees, and that would include the Rutland and all of the green and yellows. Manwe here, opposite Marshall, the god of winds. The Bourbon specific asteroid here and Rutland here. Chaos is stationed direct. It was also connecting to the moon. And of course, they have a moon in the first house of identity. Now, Manwe here, the god of winds, chaos is actually crossed over it. It's out of place. It's actually right here. So chaos is just right over on it. And that's forming a karmic inconjunct to Tornado here in the composite chart. And connecting to that Uranus. Into Phaethon, things spiraling out of control. So I'm kind of all over the place on this chart because this is what happens when I try to do 2 in a row, but I have limited quiet time, so I was trying to get some of it out just to show how you can line things up. So this is the triple composite for state of Indiana, Marshall County, and the Bourbon tornado event. Again, you can take any of these and you can plug them into your personal charts and you can see them line up if you had any effect from it. And the planets just keep changing positions, so as they match up to other things as they go around, things unfold. And I think with Pluto and Aquarius, it's just as things get destroyed and we have to rebuild, it is just so important to help each other out and stop fussing and fighting about the unimportant things in life and start getting mad about the things that are really important to be mad about people being homeless, about things not being taken care of by the state and federal governments to help the people out, just all these other things that we could be angry about and searching for solutions for. And it's really going to be the power of the people, and that is what Aquarius is, the collective. It's the power of the people to help one another. So we just have to look within ourselves and see what it is that we can do to help others. And I thank you for watching, and sorry it's a little confusing at times. You can see my mind sometimes. Hey, thanks for watching. Bye.